Hey guys, it's Kay Journey, and I am back today with a plan with me for the month of April. So if you're noticing like some differences from my last videos, I am actually switched to planning or to filming on my tablet. It's giving me the clearest picture out of all of them without all the things I'm filming on without the messy autocorrect from my phone. However, I did try my cameras. I found a cord and managed to pull out my camera and start trying to film with it, and it was just a mess. It wouldn't focus. It was causing a lot of problems. This is a little less in focus than I would like, but it's because I had to squish it a little bit because the area that I was filming was a lot larger than this small area, and it was kind of the way that I had to set up my tablet in order to film is just it was precarious and dangerous, and I just had to do what I had to do, and for now it's gonna work for the next few videos, and then I'm gonna try something different. Also, if my voiceover is slightly different, it's because I am actually using a real microphone. There is a fan going in the room that I'm in now, so hopefully you guys don't hear it, but if you do, yeah, let me know. Um, Anyway, so these date dots I'm setting up, or that I'm putting down, are ones that I made for myself. I'm about to run out, so I'm going to have to order some more because I do not want to pull out my Cricut right now and make a bunch of date dots. I'm just not in the mood. But what I'm doing right here is I am actually setting up like my workload as well as, kind of appointments and things like that for the month of April. And I actually don't have that many appointments, but I do have occasions and other things that are going on. So what this basically is going to look like is kind of a mix of like what I would normally put on my family calendar, like Mother's Day is on the 11th and Memorial Day is I think it's 26th. Yeah, the 26th. Memorial Day is on the 26th. And normally I would have that in like my family calendar, and then I would have a separate work calendar. But I've found that I'm expecting myself to work more than I should be expecting myself to work because I have other family things going on. So instead of overwhelming myself for oh no, it's May. Ha, I said April. I'm planning for May. Um, Gosh, what month is it this year? Good Lord. It has been one of those years where everything just kind of feels like it's falling apart, and I'm just trying to scramble to keep up with all of the things and to, work towards my goals without falling apart, even though I'm kind of falling apart on the side. Anyway, weird segue there. So what I'm doing is I'm basically setting myself up like realistic expectations for what I can get done every day. But what's on this planner or on this monthly view is just an overview of the time that I've got available and what's cutting into the time that I've got available. So once I jump into the color coding stickers that are over on the top of the Happy Planner thing, which I also are stickers that I made for myself that are like failures from trying to color code from plotting, and they're just, they're stickers that have been just hanging around for like a year that just need to get used, and like I need to move on with my life. So I'm using them here. But anyway, once I start jumping into color coding things, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about, where I'm scheduling chunks of time rather than tasks and what's available. So I'll put like I'll do like a green dot on a day, and I'll write next to that dot how many of my podcast episodes I expect myself to be able to record that day. And realistically, with how little my voice is used to talking for long periods of time, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, there's like hours where I don't say a word. And I work in my head. I'm an author, and so I spend most of my time just not speaking. And so realistically, I need to make sure that when I go to do my episodes, my podcast episodes, that I'm being gentle with my voice. So on certain days where I have less time, I've only scheduled myself one, but the most amount of episodes that I want to get done in a day is two. And that's probably going to be roughly about an hour, hour and a half of me speaking, me reading my books. And maybe a little bit longer depending on how many mistakes I make and things like that. But I wanted to make sure that I kept it very realistic. And because that should only take about an hour or 2 hours out of my time, and that's the only thing that I'm really scheduling, I want to make sure that I get that done first. And then after that, I want to make sure that I'm writing. I really, really miss writing every day. I jumped into the Rough Draft Challenge kind of thinking, okay, I'll get this editing done. And as much as I'm actually having a lot of fun with the editing, I fixed One of the scary scenes in the first book, like I'm so happy with like the new version of the scene, like wildly happy with it. And I'm excited to read it, and I'm excited to have people listen to it and hear, my cool ideas that I came up with. Um, but for right now, I know that all of the editing is kind of draining that creative fire that I have. So for the month of May and actually moving forward from here until the end of this month, I really want to be getting in some words every single day. So starting next week, I'm going to be actually doing 2 sprints of writing in the morning. My goal is 1,000 words a day. And then jumping into the editing and working on the podcast episodes and things like that. Because as much as I need to prioritize getting the podcast started because I'm super excited about it, I also don't want to continue falling into the trap of, oh, I need to do this thing over here, but I've lost all enthusiasm because I'm not doing what I really want to do. We just don't need that nonsense. So anyway, oh, here I've marked Mother's Day and Memorial Day. My handwriting is so terrible. I also wrote down the weeks in the quarter on the side of the calendar there. It helps because I have a big quarterly overview where I look at what I'm supposed to be doing every week in my quarterly plan. And being able to know which week is which week without having to count is great. So this is a new thing that I'm adding to this. It's also really nice having it in this small size because I can put this right next to the daily planner that I made for myself, and I'll show you guys that at another time. I am actually like super happy with it. I bought a Skinny Classic and made my own daily sheets, and because of the way that it's set up, I can do an entire quarter's worth of daily sheets with like a weekly overview in there with plenty of room. I can mark it up. I can put sticky notes in it. I can do whatever the heck I want to in it. There's plenty of room. There's lots of playroom. But it's not overwhelming. I'm not looking at a big week at a time. I'm not looking at a big meal plan at a time. I'm not looking at these bigger picture things and then trying to narrow down what am I doing today. It's literally I'm taking from my weekly and putting in my daily, and then at the end of the day I can look at my weekly and look at my daily and figure out, what I got done and what I didn't, and what habits I did and what habits I didn't, and just kind of be able to really take it from the macro to the micro, if that makes sense. So I've got this, the monthly view, which is my big macro, then my weekly view, which is a slightly smaller macro, and then my micro, which is my daily. And I've been wanting to use a daily planner for literally years. But every time I would try to do it, I would guilt trip myself about the amount of paper that I'd be going through because it's a daily. And when you can get a week on a piece of paper instead of just a day, it's kind of one of those, like, I feel really guilty about it. Well, I figured out how to set it up to where I'm actually getting, instead of like a page per day, I'm actually getting all 7 days of the week plus the weekly overview out of 2 pieces of paper. So I'm really, really happy about it. It makes my like conservative, not conservative. I am definitely not conservative, but like my conservation, using things conscientiously, that kind of part of myself, very, very happy because it's less waste. And then, on the other hand, I've printed out so many planners that I'm not using, but I'm saving them for if I ever decide to use them. But anyway, I've set it up my dailies for the rest of this quarter starting now. So there's, some that aren't even in there, but I'm very excited. I also took out the Happy Planner dividers that were in there because I really didn't like them. Like I bought one that I liked the cover of, and then I opened it up and I'm like, these dividers are just, why would you put orange with pink and purple? Like just don't, why? Anyway, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So here I realized that these 2 colors that I was planning on using were way too close together, and the stickers that I made with this were not with the removable sticker paper, so that kind of decided to get stuck there, but it's fine. I'm going to pick a different color. So this is for my mastermind meetings, and my mastermind meetings are every other Friday. But this week we did it on Thursday, which is part of the reason why this video is coming out late, is because Thursday was busy and Wednesday I was very busy and I couldn't actually figure out how the heck to get the camera to work. So Wednesday was spent frantically trying to get cameras to work and to figure out their nonsense, and I just epically failed. Yeah. That's fun. I also, because my plans, like my quarterly overview has a Monday start and this has a Sunday start, I have to be very intentional to not accidentally put Monday in the Sunday section, which is like really frustrating. I should probably switch it around when I do the quarterly plan, but I like a Monday start, which is the only beef that I have with Happy Planner like planners, is that it's a Sunday start on the calendar and a Monday start in the week, and like the switch in my head is really uncomfortable. Um, anyway, so this green that I'm using right here, this dark green that's kind of, you can almost tell that it's green, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't use these stickers for color coding. This is for episode recording. So I'll be recording like one episode every Friday after my mastermind meeting, because I'll have enough time to do one and probably enough vocal strength to do one after talking for 2 hours. And then I will be on the Fridays that I'm not having the mastermind meeting, I'll be planning on doing 2 episodes. And then I will be editing these episodes during the weekends. So one of the reasons why I don't have anything on the weekends and not on Memorial Day either is because my children will be home, and my 4-year-old, I love her so much. She is so loud and she wants my attention all the time, and there is no way I can record anything with her in the house. Like, absolutely under no circumstances can I record anything with her in the house. And same thing for on Thursdays. She has a half day every Thursday, and then there's 2 Thursdays this month where one of my bigger kids has half days too. So I'm marking that in here. Actually, that sticker is going to be for the mixed half days, but I'm going to place it elsewhere because that's not the day that it goes on. Um, but anyway, having a knowledge of where my time is going to be and how much time is available, rather than just randomly sticking in tasks, is really, really useful for me, because I've found that my neurodivergent, stubborn brain would rather think about what are my options of what I can do in this time. And so here what I'm doing is, because I'm saying this time is for these type of tasks, I'm allowing myself to go, I want to record episode 10 today. Maybe I want to record episode 3 today, rather than going, okay, we have to go in, timeline and writing it out in a way that's very rigid. It doesn't work for me. And I think that that's partially like some rebellion, and partially just a realistic look at myself and knowing what I'm enthusiastic about when, and really knowing that if I lean into my enthusiasm, I will get so much more done than if I just try to plod along in some sort of a logical manner that doesn't really work. And then I'm trying to write. If you can see how my arm is twisted there, I'm trying to write while standing up and leaning over and not getting in the way of the camera, and it is just like the most awkward situation ever. I don't actually like filming like this, especially because the tablet is like way up in the air on a bunch of shelves, like hanging off the side. It's really not safe. But it's giving me the best image that I've had since I started my channel, which is like wild, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna figure out something. I'm just gonna keep fiddling with it until I know what I'm doing. And so these red ones, you can barely tell that they're red because they're so dark. These ones are for YouTube videos. So I try to make my YouTube videos every Tuesday. And this week that just didn't work out, and it is what it is. And I had originally planned on doing another YouTube video on Fridays, and I think I'm just not going to have the time or the emotional energy for doing that. I think I'm gonna pass. So one video a week is working for me, especially now that I'm kind of rethinking how I want to set up my videos. I'm also thinking that what I'm going to do is, when I launch my my podcast, I will be releasing the podcast episodes here on this channel too. I'm thinking that I will probably be releasing them maybe on Thursdays, but I have yet to decide. So let me know what days work best for you guys, because by the time this goes live, they will already all be recorded, and it's basically just click the button and go. And they'll be set up on Spotify. They'll be most likely on here on YouTube, and they will also be on my website, my personal website. I do have a Substack in the links in the description, but I'm kind of considering getting rid of it. I might not even be linking it anymore by the time this goes live, but I am considering getting rid of my Substack just because it kind of overcomplicates things. and all of the like legalese, the paperwork, and the um, terms of service, privacy policy, those things. That's all on my website already, so I don't feel like I need to have to redo all of that in order to put it up on Substack. And that's kind of where I'm at with that, is I'm looking at how I can get the most bang for my buck. And setting up the episodes on just Spotify, and on, I think I'm going to do Apple too, because here's like business savvy. I can link my book up on Apple and sell it on, I forget exactly what it is. I think it's Apple Books. And then put the podcast up there, and then just have a link for people who like using Apple from the podcast to the book on Apple, which I think is going to be great. And if I could do that with Google Play and YouTube, I still haven't figured that part out, but I might do that. And then, from my website, there will be a link to wherever I want you, wherever you guys want to do to buy my books. I'm going to be, before I launch all of the episodes, I'm going to be adding my books to Barnes and Noble, and probably not Ingram Spark, just because there's complications there, but Barnes and Noble, Apple, and where else? There was a couple other places that I was planning on setting my book up on, my books, both of them. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it for my brain at the moment. I'm writing in all of my expectations of how many episodes I think I can get done in these days. And the days that are represented here, there's actually more days than episodes, I believe, because I have 17 episodes of the first book and then 19 episodes of the second book. And by the time the episodes go live, I was thinking September, but now I'm thinking August, just because where it'll land when I finish season 1 versus, starting season 2. I think it will land better if I start in August. So if I start it in August, I will, by the time I need to be recording the episodes for the second season, the kids will be back in school, and I will have, the quiet household time, which would be great. So, I don't know. I'm still debating, but I'm going to get done what I can get done. Very definitely, I will be recording season 1 throughout the month of May, and hopefully most of season 2, just so that for continuity of sound and things like that, it'll work. And then here I'm looking at a weekly, and like I probably should just cut this from the video, but I'm not going to. So I'm jumping into this weekly, and I'm putting in a habit tracker, because these like mini horizontal weeklies have this beautiful little area on the side that's like check boxes. And I do a lot of habits in there. My Soft 75 that I'm doing, I'm keeping track of in there. But I wanted to make sure that I had a realistic, like, full tracker for my writing, about 1,000 words a day. Because once again, I've had such a hard time this year with staying on top of things. I have not used my writing notebook in months. I keep setting it up and not using it. And I keep kind of telling myself that I'm just going to feel better and I'm going to get back to work, and then not doing it. And I think it's because I'm setting myself up for failure, because I'm enthusiastically adding entirely too much to my plate without recognizing that right now my plate is smaller. And it's not my fault. It is what it is. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will be back next week. I have absolutely no idea what that video will be, actually, because my YouTube plan is completely off the rails, and what's new? I mean, really.